Every 2 years, USA Cycling has its Coaches Summit in Colorado Springs at USA Cycling HQ. It's an opportunity for coaches to come together and discuss the challenges of coaching cyclists, exchange ideas, and hear from industry leaders about the latest in science and business. Hi, I'm Greg Choate, USA Cycling Level 1 coach and strength and conditioning specialist based in Las Vegas, Nevada. For all the coaches that didn't attend the 2018 Coaches Summit in Colorado Springs, here's a brief rundown of what you missed out on. And if you find this information useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more information about cycling and training. Held every 2 years, this summit is designed to help coaches keep up to date with the latest science, learn business practices, and connect with other coaches to share their passion. The 2018 summit brought together some big names in exercise, science, and cycling, and proved once again a great resource and incubator for those who attended. If you didn't attend, I strongly recommend making the time in your schedule to participate in these events. It's a great way to renew your passion for cycling and for coaching, and let's face it, you might even learn something. Day one of the summit was dedicated to the development of juniors. There was a great presentation from USA Cycling Junior Program Director Billy Innes on the European pathway for junior cyclists and how the process works, and an explanation of the progress USA Cycling has been making developing juniors into potential professionals for the European peloton. USA Juniors are making good inroads in Europe and are starting to draw the attention of some of the Pro Tour development teams. We heard from longtime junior coach Larry Nolan from Team Nolan, and he spoke about creating balance between being a cyclist and being a student. Understanding that young athletes have a lot going on in their lives, and as coaches, it's important we consider the big picture. When you're working with younger riders, you need to understand what they're going through to apply your coaching techniques. Menachem Brody from Human Vortex Training in Tel Aviv spoke about physically preparing young cyclists for the demands of training and racing. Ensuring young bodies don't develop muscle imbalances and poor movement patterns can be the difference between hampering their future development as a cyclist and helping them reach their full potential. Being physically resilient to the demands of training while a young body is still maturing is a key to longevity in the sport. Inside Software project leader Sebastian Weber from Switzerland made an excellent presentation on the energy demands of cycling on your body. He explained the needs of the glycolytic power system and how both training and fueling it in younger athletes requires an understanding of the unique demands of the sport and the athletes that you're working with. For me, the highlight of the opening day was a presentation from Pete Weber. He's the executive director of Boulder Junior Cycling. His case study showed how BJC developed from a group of 6 kids whose parents wanted them to get into road cycling into becoming a 501(c) non-profit with close to 200 riders across the cycling disciplines. With Pete working as a full-time employee and employing 2 full-time coaches and a number of part-time coaches, BJC has taken riders to national championship races and won titles. This is a great example of building something from the grassroots to secure the future of our sport. Day 2 started off with the Director of Coaching Education and Athlete Development, Kevin Dessart, welcoming everybody and giving us a bit of a State of the Nation update on where we are as a group. Following Kevin's remarks, Liz Kohler, who is the new Director of Membership, took us through the new membership structure and discussed the challenges we are facing with membership and how we can communicate the benefits of memberships to the greater cycling population. The morning finished off with the keynote speaker, psychologist Dr. David Berger, taking us through the process of conscious leadership and coaching, what it means to be a coach, and how you can position yourself to provide your athletes with not only the physiological development, but also the psychological support they need to be the best they can be. He spoke about how these tools carry over into your everyday life to help make you the best version of yourself. Over the break, those who weren't digesting the morning's information or the lunch provided by the team from Zwift were treated to an informal presentation from Kevin Poulton. Kevin Poulton is the coach of 2016 Paris-Roubaix winner Matt Hayman, and also the coach of the Pro Tour team Katusha. Kevin spoke about how he used Zwift to train an injured Hayman and how valuable indoor training is as a tool. Now, traditionally, professional riders avoided indoor training, but after Kevin's success, more professionals are embracing the quality versus quantity approach. After lunch, we broke into 2 tracks, and you had to make a choice about which presentations you were going to attend. So I'll give you some synopsis on the lectures I attended, and my apologies to any of the presenters that I missed. First up for me was Shorms March. Shorms is a former professional downhill rider and spent 12 years as a Red Bull athlete. He made a great presentation about skills development beyond the USA Cycling Certified Skills Instructor course. Shorms has created a curriculum for developing skills that USA cycling coaches can undertake, and it'll open up a wealth of coaching opportunities to work with all levels of riders. Shorms has been working with riders from Team USA on the World Tour to help them tune their skills and take their racing to another level. Menachem Brody from Human Vortex Training continued his theme of developing strength and quality movements in cyclists. I think most coaches now realize that off-the-bike movement and strength training is essential for all types of riders to improve performance and reduce the risk of injury. Once again, Sebastian Weber from Inside Software spoke about the energy demands of Pro Tour riders and sprint finishers. He outlined how program modeling and design is critical to the success of a Pro Tour sprinter. The wrong type of training or too much of a certain type of training at the wrong time can have a much longer negative effect than we previously believed. The fueling of riders was also shown to be critical. The output in the sprints has increased over the past 5 years from around 19 watts per kilo to around 24 watts per kilo. So ensuring the correct energy systems are in play at the end of a race or stage is making the difference between winning and losing. Brian McKenzie from Power Speed Endurance finished out my day with a great presentation about breathing and the concept that good breathing mechanics are essential to good performances. Learning to train your breathing and how your body responds to different breathing strategies is a simple but very effective way to improve performance in your athletes. So day 2 was in the books, and there was still 2 days ahead of us. There was plenty of things to talk about during the evening reception that was sponsored by Whistle Pig Distillery. No doubt the great maple whiskey added to some of the lively conversation that was being had. Day 3 started off with former professional Ben Day from Day by Day Coaching talking about lessons learned from working with the pros. Ben is always entertaining to listen to and has some great insight from his days in the pro peloton and the experience he's gained from working with a number of high-level professionals. I was lucky enough to work with Ben when he was a rider, and it was great to see his transition to the coach's role. His work has gained him a position with the Pro Tour team Michelin Scott for the 2019 and the 2020 seasons, and I think it's a well-deserved recognition of the quality of his coaching. The morning session also had Tim Cusick, the WKO4 product leader for Training Peaks, and he updated us on the role of artificial intelligence in the WKO software. With many years of experience working with high-level cyclists, Tim showed how the WKO software can create some very valuable insights into the trends in training that might go unseen if you're not using the power of the AI to mine your data. Tim also hinted at some of the new features coming out in WKO5, which is scheduled for release in 2019. Hunter Allen from Peaks Coaching Group is always a valued participant in the USA Cycling Coaches Summits. This year, Hunter spoke about a new monitoring device, the Leomo Type R, which uses IMUs to measure movement in different parts of the body and gives valuable feedback on biomechanical efficiency. I'd already worked with the Type R, so I was interested to hear Hunter's evaluation of the technology and how he'd used it in applications for rider positioning in both power development and efficiency, as well as quantifying aerodynamic positioning against efficiency and power. With the introduction of the live data streaming functionality in the Type R's app, I think there'll be some powerful use of this technology in the field to quantify riders' positions. After lunch, Michael Weiss, owner of Alta Health and Performance Solutions, spoke about dehydration, muscle cramping, and hyponatremia. These are all subjects that affect every athlete we work with, and Michael took us through some of the myths and misconceptions regarding fluid intake and salt intake. It's something that probably gets overlooked by many coaches because it's not as simple as it seems, and the truth is hydration needs to be tailored specifically to the athlete and to the event. The bottom line is, if you're not testing your strategies, then you're really just guessing, and this usually leads to performance capacities being diminished. Sports nutrition was the topic for Lindsay Langford from Indianapolis. Lindsay is an RD working with athletes from the NBA, NASCAR, and NFL in a hospital environment. She had a very simple and no-nonsense approach to nutrition for her athletes. She dispelled a number of myths regarding types of food and nutrition timing and left us all with some valuable takeaways when considering what the right nutrition strategy is for each athlete. Something she touched on was energy deficiency in both male and female endurance athletes. Because we are a power to weight sport, many athletes have a habit of not consuming enough calories to allow them to train to their potential. This manifests itself in suboptimal competition performances. Again, something worth taking a close look at with your athletes. Day 3 finished up for me with Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and she's a USOC sports psychologist. Like any discussion with a sports psychologist, Dr. Mitchell had us asking some tough questions and thinking about how you control the perception of discomfort in both training and competition. I tell every one of my athletes that many times most of the physiologically gifted athletes, they don't win because they lack the ability to plumb the depths of their perception of being uncomfortable. You need to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable to be a great athlete. Dr. Mitchell presented some interesting research and some anecdotal evidence from Olympic level athletes about how they train their minds to perceive discomfort and how that affects their training and competition. Like anything, it's a skill, and it needs to be trained, and taking the time to include mindfulness training as part of our athletes' programs can really pay dividends. Day 4 was a much anticipated presentation by Dr. Anne Friedlander from Stanford University. Dr. Friedlander's course on Your Body in the World has been very successful on the Stanford mock site. Her presentation style was excellent, and the material she covered on how cold, heat, altitude, and hydration affect our bodies was both informational and entertaining. There was some talk of a follow-up course being offered in 2019, so keep your eyes open on the USA Cycling Coaches webpage for an announcement about that course. Next up was Dr. Stacy Sims. Well known as the driving force behind the Osmo hydration brand, Stacy has since moved on from Osmo and taken a position at the University of Waikato in New Zealand. Stacy's main focus of her research now is based around her battle cry: women are not little men. As usual, Stacy's presentation was filled with lots of information on the pitfalls of not paying attention to a female athlete's hormonal cycle. She explained ways in which you can manipulate both training type and load along with nutrition and hydration to get the best out of your female athletes. I believe anyone who's working with female athletes and not paying attention to Stacy's research is missing a big piece of the puzzle and doing their athletes a disservice. The final presentation of the day and the summit came from the USA Cycling Olympic Development Team of Ben Sharp, Travis Smith, Lee Povey, Andy Lakatosh, and Billy Innes. The group spoke about the development pipeline and where they see the future of USA Cycling across all the disciplines. An exciting initiative which was being spoken about is a new program based around the velodromes, and it's being developed to ensure we capture cycling talent at a young age. Another interesting topic raised was how freestyle BMX is going to integrate into the Olympic development model. So after 4 days packed with lots of information, my head was about to explode. And I've really got to take my hat off to Kevin and his team from USA Cycling for putting together a great summit. It was a huge amount of work, and I think all the coaches who attended appreciate it. Aside from all the great presentations, just the opportunity of spending time with other coaches and like-minded people represented time and money well spent to me. If you're a coach and don't attend these conferences, I think you're missing out on a lot. You can't attend an event like this and not come away with valuable and actionable knowledge that will help you improve your coaching. One of the hardest things, I think, as a cycling coach is we tend to work in silos. Attending this type of event or other courses is a great way to open your mind. We all know what we know, but the power of an event like this is we get exposed to people and information we don't know. So take the time and explore the unknown. I hope you've enjoyed this short wrap-up of the 2018 USA Cycling Coaches Summit. If you like the information and you'd like to hear more, please like and subscribe to my channel and keep up to date on all the other information we'll be having about cycling, coaching, and training. Once again, my name is Greg Choate. Thanks for tuning in and listening. So long, and I'll see you again soon.